Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for joining me here. We are in Democracy 3. Well, actually, it's up there. Democracy 3. And as you see, I have got my business tie on, and we are ready to rock and roll. It's not actually a business tie, it is in fact my old school tie. If anyone recognises that, well done to you. So, at the last turn, we had a dilemma to solve. Torture, deportation. Police officers have arrested a con man who is staying in our country illegally. Under normal circumstances, he'd be eligible to be deported back to his country of origin, but the man claims that if he's sent back to his homeland, it is likely he will be tortured by the government. So we have two options here. We can either deport him or we can keep him here. So to deport him, the man has nobody to blame for his situation but himself. He arrived here illegally and has operated as a criminal since he got here. If he had claimed political asylum when he arrived and not began a life of crime, it would be a different matter. And under the circumstances, we must take his claims of torture with a pinch of salt. Alternative is we could keep him here. It's clear this man is hardly a moral citizen, but under no confidence stricter deserves to be tortured. If we truly oppose the use of torture on principle, then despite the man's history, we need to ensure we're not willing participants to torture by sending him back home. And if we do deport him, it could effectively become a death sentence for him. Now, I would take a hard line. Personally, I take a hard line. The man does have nobody else to blame. He could have sought asylum here, but he didn't. He came here illegally, worked as a con man. He has done nothing to help our country, nothing to help our economy, and as a result of that, I am in fact going to deport him. So, 5 turns till the vote. The GDP is on the rise, unemployment is going down, poverty is going down. We like it. We have two big problems. So first of all, let's see a quote from Boris Yeltsin. You can build a throne with bayonets, but you can't sit in it for long. A very wise man, Boris Yeltsin. So, two situations have developed. Number one, ghettos, a combination of immigration, street crime and racial tensions led to our communities splintering into ghettos for different racial groups. A sad reflection on the state of our society today. That is very true. The other one was a ban on animal testing. A proposal to ban all animal experimentation has been placed before the government by our pressure groups. We currently have quite a few people working in industries that use animal testing, and it is a highly, highly unpopular practice. Two options. Once again, we could either ban it, and in this day and age, there is no good reason to test any products on animals, especially cosmetics. The practice used are often incredibly cruel, and a ban would have widespread public support with little impact on industry in itself. The other side of the argument, no change. Products are only tested on animals to ensure there is no chance of danger to humans. And it's only done as a last resort under controlled conditions. If we impose such a drastic ban, it will hit our consumers and pharmaceutical industries badly. So, we have to really think what exactly we want to do. Now, I cannot, as an animal lover, ever push that no change button. And it's my personal opinion, and I will let my personal opinion rule over the game in this one, and I have to ban it. So the economy is in deep recession. It's having a negative effect on our GDP. Credit rating is not great, but the polls are getting better. They put us at 33%. The opposition party has more numbers than us, but that is not the end of the world. Let's just have a little look at the parties here. So Labour Party, me with 500,000 members, absolutely no activists. On the other side of the coin, we have the Conservatives with over 4 million members and 157,000 activists. So we are getting quite literally gulped there. Battenberg Group is still obviously a concern, which of course it is, and the cabinet's loyal, and they are considered to be passable. So let's see. Socialists have started to come up. Capitalists are okay, they're not great. The poor are getting better. Liberals, so. The retired still absolutely love us, which possibly means I could raid the pensions piggy bank once more. Yes. Yes, unfortunately we are indeed raiding the pensions piggy bank, and yes, I do feel a little bit bad about it, but frankly the deficit between our income and expenditure is massive. So we need to do something about it, and raiding that pensions piggy bank is the only way we can. We're now 5 turns away from the election, and it's currently looking like we're going to lose, but let's see if we can't try and bring people around. Now, let's have a look at welfare, disability benefits, rent controls would be very popular. As an alternative to state housing is a system where the state will regulate the private rental market in a bid to ensure the supply of affordable housing for all, even within the private sector. Capitalists will hate it, a distortion of the free market, they will say, and that will prevent enough homes being built, where supporters will say it prevents exploitation of the poor by greedy landlords. And it possibly could. However, here we go. This looks good. City farms. Many people would love to buy fresh produce from farmers directly, but living in the city, it's often a hassle to drive out to the countryside. So why not bring some farms into the cities directly? The programme helps ambitious farmers to establish farms in and around cities so they can be closer to the customers and get some of the kids to consider a career in farming. So this looks like it's going to be a big boon for us. Farmers and farmers membership go up at the cost of around £350 million. So let's go for that. Let's go for that. And that'll take us nicely into our next turn. So let's see what is happening. So the GDP is still on the rise, which is great. Crime is going down. Unemployment is going down. This is fantastic. Now, we have 3 fantastic pieces of news. Street gangs. In a recent press conference, our chief police was happy to report that the earlier problem of street gangs is now under control, which means less crime and happier citizens. That's fantastic. Also, technological advantage. It looks like our country is leading the world in a number of major areas of science and technology, and this is great news for our economy, as it means we have a major advantage over our competitors. Raises our productivity, raises the GDP, completely wipes out technological backwater, so this is fantastic. And finally, a celebrity endorsement. We live in a celebrity-obsessed age. Normally we criticise this phenomenon, but today a top pop star has gone on the record as saying you're doing a superb job, and this is going to reflect very nicely in our approval ratings. Certainly we need that at the moment, which is great. Credit rating, BB, we need to fix it. The GDP is going up, so I believe that will fix itself over time. The people that are indifferent to your government, we estimate 56% of the vote in an election, which is enough for re-election, so we are doing very well in my opinion. The election is getting closer, they have more people than us, but that doesn't really matter. And you know, the Battenberg group are still there. This time it's the Iron Lady Margaret Thatcher providing us with a quote which said, "I am extraordinarily patient, provided I get my own way in the end." So, socialists, capitalists are now up to yellow. This is fantastic. I didn't think we were going to get that. However, liberalists and socialists still not particularly happy. Let's have a look. Let's try and end these ghettos, these ghettos that have formed. The Race Discrimination Act prevents citizens being discriminated against purely on the basis of their race, i.e. racist employment practices. And admittedly the Conservatives will hate it, but Liberals will like it. And I think absolutely that has to go through. Very minimal cost, under £50 million. And that should certainly help deal with that very little political capital used there either. It's obvious, absolutely obvious. So what else do we have? Racial tension. Let's have a look in racial tension. What are the causes of it, and how can we reduce it? Community policing brings it down. Race discrimination, that brings it down. Compulsory foreign language classes bring it down. Education brings it down. Poverty, unemployment, immigration, and foreign relations all bring it up. However, it is starting to drop, especially now we've got that passed, which is great. What else can we do to get socialists on side? State schools, state health service, legal aid, foreign aid, food stamps are there, state housing is there, unemployment benefit. Other than that, I think it's fine. And as you see, the pension piggy bank has helped us close that gap a little bit. It's now around £50 billion. Does put the debt up, unfortunately. As you can see, Our deficit is £51 billion per quarter, and our debt is now over 1,000 billion, which is a lot of money. Again, hoping for the turnaround in finances. So let's have a look at what policies we can introduce now. Again, all about the economy. Definitely want to boost the economy up and try and help this. We can now implement the Mars program, looking for us to try and push on to Mars, but that is indeed exceptionally expensive. Foreign investor tax breaks. It's not going to be popular with the investors, but special tax breaks given to large foreign-owned multinational companies to encourage them to invest in our country. Could include tax-free periods, introductory rates of corporation tax, and straight subsidies to encourage investment. It helps encourage investment from overseas, but was seen as incredibly unpatriotic and pandering to the whim of huge foreign capitalist organisations. I do believe, however, that we do need to implement that, and it does need to be supported to the tune of around 15 billion. Patriots will hate it. The GDP, however, will love it, and that is what we are trying to do, try to boost the GDP up there. So again, back to the economy. We've got an organic farming subsidy, a ban on home fabrication grants, vertical farms, subsidy for unions, and eco-home regulations. Yeah, a smart meter program. Installing smart meters in the homes, people can save money and the environment at the same time. Will increase the efficiency of energy used. It will take a while to convince everyone of this, and it won't cause miracles, but it will save a lot of energy in the long run and help save nature for our children. That seems like a very good idea. Energy efficiency up, environmentalists up, and people obviously very happy. So let's support that. Not quite as much as that, but maybe 500 more in there. Now we do need to start looking a little bit at taxation, obviously because frankly we are losing a lot of money, to be honest. And so superstores, a punitive tax on superstores, they may be convenient for our citizens, but they have many negative effects. They encourage car journeys rather than supporting the local shops, and their dominance is encouraging a society dominated by big business with no room for small family-owned stores. They should be taxed to reflect the harm they do to the very fabric of our society. Well, it is certainly interesting. Capitalists will obviously hate it, but it will discourage car usage. I think we should, but I don't think we should do it that much. I would use a tax of maybe somewhere in the region of 5%, which I think is very reasonable. Some retired, how retired people like us more, I don't know, because we've slashed their pensions. Their pensions are almost non-existent. How could that? I'm not going to question why they love me, but let's go. 3 turns to the election. GDP is on the rise again. Unemployment is falling. Crime is almost disappearing. This is fantastic. The technological backwater that we were has gone. Great news. The Centre for Technology and Business has announced that the nation is no longer being perceived as backwards in technological terms. This will be welcome news for the economy. It opens up opportunities for technology investment. This is fantastic. There has been a royal scandal though. Who doesn't love a royal scandal? The prominent member of the royal family has made unfortunate comments that could be considered racist if taken out of context. The comment was overheard by press photographers and is causing a scandal. How will we react? Well, 2 options: support the monarchy or criticise the monarchy. With the support, nobody expects the government of the day to openly criticise the monarchy. It would likely lead to major constitutional difficulties and would be considered deeply unpatriotic. We should issue a statement to the effect that the phrase was taken out of context, was off the record, and clearly does not represent the views of the royal family. The other alternative is to criticise the monarchy. How can we possibly stand by and let this happen without comment? Nobody expects our government to call for the royal family's abolition, but at the very least a strongly worded statement to the effect that such comments are unhelpful and out of step with the times would be appropriate regardless of what the royalists and the patriots may think, and that is absolutely where I'm going to go. That is the only one that makes sense to me. How can we possibly argue to try and reduce racial tensions while backing the royal family for that? So the global economy is still in a recession. Budget, international credit ratings, we're still BB, so that's fine. Polls report that we're getting 50% of the vote in an election, so it could be quite close. The election report shows that we have less members, and the Battenberg-Brook. Oh no, we're monitoring an extensive extremist communication among individuals of communist activists calling themselves the Revolutionary Army, we need to keep an eye on this. I have absolutely no idea how that formed. It is very worrying. Communists forming to make a revolution. Wow. What can you say? Right. We are now a mere 3 turns away from the election, so we need to keep people on side at this point. The asthma epidemic is not going anywhere. If you look at the charts, it's actually getting worse. New car subsidies haven't helped the environment and car usage. Yes, I mean, I can understand where they're coming from. We still need to focus on ghettos and try and limit this as much as possible. Street gangs, vigilante mobs, these are 2 big issues that we need to get on top of. The organised crime is obviously still a thing. Alcohol is obviously still a thing. Yeah, it's just how we try and deal with it, I guess. Let's have a look at the policies that are available to us. Let's have a look in law and order. That seems to be the way to go. So gated communities, I don't believe that. Legalised prostitution. It's a difficult one, legalised prostitution, and it's not something I'm going to get into this close to an election. Prisoner tagging, private prisons, police with tasers, flags on every street corner, a needle exchange program, and witness protection. I do think that we need to look at witness protection, but at the same time I also think that our political capital could be better spent elsewhere. So let's have a look at transport. The old people love us enough already. Toll roads. Now, popularity with the voters is quite high, and it will also increase the money coming in. Toll roads charge motorists to use specific roads, normally major highways, and it's a great example of directly applying market forces by only charging those who use a particular route for the construction and maintenance of that route. So motorists tend to see this as not only another form of taxation, but commuters appreciate not being charged for roads they seldom use. So it'll make motorists unhappy, but commuters, capitalists, it will decrease car usage, decrease congestion. I definitely think that this is a good move, and I definitely think we should push these toll roads to the absolute maximum. And yes, it will upset motorists, but hopefully some of the other things we've done will bring them back on side. So let's go. Next turn. A socialist plot dissatisfaction with your government policies among some extreme socialists is pushing more and more of them into the arms of an extremist group known as the Revolutionary Army. This organisation pledged to secure a socialist state by any means necessary, and we've heard rumours that they are currently procuring arms from foreign sympathisers. This is a real martial threat that they need to be aware of. Unemployment is still falling under us, which is great, but we do have a question here, a Appella's question on positive discrimination. There are calls for a law to expressly set quotas for the employment of ethnic and other minorities by large corporations and government institutions. This would put pressure on the companies to give a higher priority to some job candidates than others on the basis of their race, sex, or age. Now, we could pass it or reject it. The difference is here, we need this law. In economic terms, it makes no sense for people below or above a certain age to be rendered unemployable. Also, in human rights terms, this is much needed compensation for years of discrimination in the workplace against ethnic minorities, women, the elderly, and the disabled. I can see that point. However, this is a deeply flawed law. It makes no sense to fight discrimination by using more discrimination. It creates 2 problems. That's the threat of minority members who feel that they may not have achieved the position on merit, and the resentment of potential employees who were denied a job. Absolutely, absolutely. You cannot fight discrimination with more discrimination. Cannot be done. So the economic forecast, we're still in a recession. It's having a negative effect on our GDP, although our GDP is going up. We're still rated BB on the credit report. The polls are different. We're at 48% for the election. The election is drawing very, very, very near. We have a very real danger from the hard left socialist group. And the loyalty of our ministers is effective. Mark Twain gives us our quote today: "The citizen who sees his society's democracy clothes being worn out and does not cry it out. This is not a patriot, but a traitor." Well, one way to look at it. The thing is, though, the socialist plot, they're not even that unhappy with me. Yeah, I would have thought liberals would be far more unhappy, but hey. So, socialism, what can we do to make our socialists happy? Legal aid is certainly one of them. It's very popular with the voters. There are no negative effects. It makes liberals happy, it makes poor happy, socialists happy, increases equality, increases the poor's earnings. So let's go and increase that up to just a shade under £2 billion. And that seems like a good way to get people back on side. It does leave us lacking a little in political capital as we approach the election. 2 turns to go. But let's see if we cannot introduce some sort of welfare that would... maybe some public services. Aha! Public services. Public services are where we need to be. Let's see. What would be a good, happy, keep the country tidy campaign? Popularity of voters 100%. Potential costs are quite small. Campaign in popular media designed to make people feel guilty about littering, no matter how much a fine on littering may be. This only works if people are being seen, but a guilty conscience will also work when someone is alone, thus making it far more effective in the long run. That seems like a great idea. Let's support that. Let's bang. We get 400 million. 401 million pounds. Environmentalists, they are happy. The voters love it. And we have only 1 turn after this to the election. The socialist plot, we still need to be aware of that. Our credit rating has been upgraded. The credit agencies have increased the creditworthiness of the government. This is a great news. It should result in lower interest rates in our debt and may also result in a boost to our GDP from higher level of confidence by foreign investors. The news is likely to please capitalist voters, and the current credit rating is now A-rated. So that's good. Increased capitalists, increased GDP, fantastic. However, our oil pipeline has been attacked. This is the second time this has happened. It reduces our oil supply and also makes patriots unhappy. The economic forecast still in a recession. The budget has a small surplus of 9.28 billion. It's small compared to overall government spending, though. I don't know how we ended up with a surplus because I've been spending money hand over fist trying to make people happy. 46% of the vote in the election, and certainly the election is drawing near. It is on the next turn. And Woody Allen responsible for a quote. I believe there's something out there watching over us. Unfortunately, it's the government. Very well said. So Patriots now in the red. This is disappointing. I think we may need to increase military spending. Now. A modern military equipped and well equipped can cost an absolute fortune, and many people feel that the money could be better spent elsewhere. Others, especially patriots, would argue that you cannot put a price on freedom and security, and also point out the huge benefits to businesses, technology, and employment figures. So if we were to increase our military spending, patriots would be happy, unemployment would go down, state employees would go up, members of the state employees group would go up. The state employees' income would rise. It would be from there to here. Liberalists would, however, hate it. But I think a highly trained military hopefully will help stop these pipeline attacks, because yes, we need to try and get a handle on that, I think. And liberals who already hate us, they do. They really, really do. Okay, liberals. If we lower this, that would just make religious happy and creationists. Okay. Abortion, so clearly that hot potato we cannot touch. We only have 1 for this, so let's go. Let's have a look at the situation before we go into the election. Socialists don't particularly like us. Capitalists don't particularly like us, but they're both in the amber, so that's good. Retired. Somehow the retired do like us. I don't know how, because we have smashed their pensions. We have absolutely set about their pension pot with a sledgehammer. Commuters don't mind us too much, we're quite high in the yellow scale. Patriots don't like us, but we've increased the military spending to try and combat that. Motorists don't particularly like us, but they are in the amber, so I'm willing to let that go. Liberalists dislike us, and they're certainly not going to like the military spending as well. Religious groups, we're so-so with them, which I'm quite happy with. Trade unions, so-so. We haven't really looked too much at labour laws at the moment. Self-employed like us, we've given good grants for self-employed businesses to try and help them grow. Environmentalists quite like us, and we've increased some of the programs to help the environment as well. The wealthy are okay with us, so I'm happy with that. The poor like us, which is great. Middle income, not too bad. Parents, not too bad. Quite happy with them. Farmers, so-so. We've given the food stamps program, which increased farmers as well. State employees love us, which is excellent. We've increased military spending as well, which is going to push that up even higher. Conservatives like us, and that's going even higher as well, which is good. The youth vote, the endorsement by the pop stars certainly helped the youth vote, which we like very much. Ethnic minorities, however, have gone down. I'm not really sure what has caused that. I may need to have a little look into that and see why exactly their opinion of the government is so poor. Border controls, I can see that. Foreign aid, Race Discrimination Act to help, but racial tension, ghettos, and positive discrimination they did not like. They are backing the Black Power group, which is troubling, to be honest. Anyway, and the overall vote of everyone is so. Overall, our popularity is there. It's had this big low, the peak value at 56, but currently we're at 46, and I'm pretty happy with that. So this leaves us with only one thing to do. It's election time. It's election time. Activist turnout boost 1%. Opposition activist turnout boost 5%. So let's go. Let's see how we're doing. This is a tight race that we appear to be losing. Are we only going to be a one-term government? The results are coming in, and it looks bad. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 47% turnout, 53% for the opposition. 50% of the country non-voters, which obviously hurt us. The socialist voters, they certainly let us down. We got 45% of their vote, which unfortunately means that the government got 55% of the vote. Capitalists, again, share the vote. The retired did vote for us. Motorists let us down. Patriots let us down. The commuters supported us. Liberals massively didn't. Religious massively did, however. Trade unionists let us down. Self-employed, I really thought we'd get more than 52% there. Same with environmentalists. The wealthy, we got a good share of the vote there. The poor, massive share of the poor vote. But middle income has hammered us here with only 25%. Parents let us down. Again, farmers, we gave so many subsidies to farmers, and they've let us down. I'm very disappointed in the farmers. State employees, I cannot believe, given how well state employees looked for us, I cannot believe that we only got 45% share of the vote. That is unbelievable. Conservatives, however, 94% share of the vote, which was a massive win. The youth vote, we won 55%. Ethnic minorities again let us down. Overall 46%. That's really hurt us. So since we were first elected, and this is really what we're going to retire with as our legacy. So overall health has gone up, education has gone up, crime has vanished, 59% down, violent crime 22% down, poverty 7% down, equality, the difference between the poor and the rich has risen massively. 44%. I'm a little disappointed with that. The environment 16% down. Not too upset by that. The working week we can ignore, basically 3%. It's just neither here nor there. Technology 16% increase. Car usage has gone up. Rail usage has gone up. Bus usage has gone up because of the increase in the economy. Productivity in the working week 8% up. Unemployment down 31% on my watch. How could you not vote to me when I've 31% decrease in unemployment? CO2 emissions gone up, but so has the economy. They have to be expected to rise. They've risen less than the unemployment figure. Air travel's increased. Overall immigration stayed the same. Energy efficiency up 14%. Racial tension down 26%. Foreign relations have fallen slightly, but our international trade has increased. Oil supply has gone down, but that's our pipeline's been attacked. There was nothing I could do about that. The oil price, that has gone up. The poor earnings, up 18% on poor earnings. Middle income earnings, up 2%. High earnings, up 11%. The GDP up 27%. GDP, 27% on my watch. The gross domestic product has increased. Unbelievable that you would not elect somebody who has increased that much. Private healthcare has gone up, private housing has gone up, private schools have gone down, private pensions, however, have massively increased, which is great. Tobacco usage is up, alcohol consumption is neither here nor there, traffic congestion has gone up, tourism is up, wages have gone up, legal drug consumption we did not touch. The currency strength has massively increased. Took a dip here and look at it, 19% increase. Food prices slightly risen, the average temperature has slightly risen. Internet currency adoption is up 7.5%, industrial automation down. It's very disappointing, I have to say. I was hoping for more. I thought that, when you look at the changes, our government has been positive. It's been overwhelmingly increased the everything, basically. Everyone's wages are up, the standard of living is up for everyone, and yet still it was not enough to be voted back in. 14 million people voted for us, as opposed to almost 17 million against. We lost this run, and I'm very disappointed. However, we may be back with another democracy series later on. Thank you all for tuning in, and unfortunately, it's time for me to retire into obscurity. Thank you once again.